Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Byron from Splitting Slices, and it is early Friday afternoon. Came home from the shop for a quick lunch, let the dogs out, take care of a long video for Fun Knife Friday and a few shout outs, and then I'm heading back. So let's get to it. Want to thank Tobias Gibson over at Knife Chats with Tobias, and of course his partner in crime, Skip the Show, the owner of the Volcano Club, who always puts on a real good Fun Knife Friday video. So if you haven't been over to check out Skip's antics at the Volcano Club, head over to Knife Chats with Tobias and enjoy some humorous antics by Skip. Also want to shout out Singing Toad. That is Dave over in the Great White North, Canada, who puts on the open tag Thankful Thursdays every week. Dave, this is both a thank you and an apology. For whatever reason, in Thankful Thursday's video yesterday, I left off your stickers on the table. Buddy, I am sorry. I have plenty of them. You've been very good getting me stickers in the past. So here they are for Fun Knife Friday. Go check Dave's channel out for knife and gear content from the Great White North. All right, I got a couple other channels I want to shout out. Two of them right here, Yonin's Edge and Mike's Knives. Both of these channel owners and their spouses are going through some health issues right now. I want you to have thoughts and prayers for both of them. That's Mrs. Edge with Yonin and Mrs. C with Mike's Knives, both battling some health issues right now. And probably the biggest and most important thing is whatever you do, please try to keep your spirits up as you're going through these health issues. So thoughts and prayers go out to both of those channels and their spouses. Want to congratulate Gary over at The Last Ranger. He just celebrated, I believe, his 4th or 5th year in YouTube. Had his celebration video and live stream last night. So congratulations, Gary. The Last Ranger, for his channel content. I hope we see him over in RJ's Knives live stream this Sunday. Want to give a big shout out to Aries EDC. Scott over at Aries is a hobbyist, I think, turning almost full-time knife maker, or I think would like to. He is down in Florida building fixed blade knives, EDC style, and doing a bang-up job at it. Many people in the knife community now would like to get on his books to have knives made from him. So go check out Aries EDC. He's got great knife content, and you get to watch him in his shop work a couple times a week. He'll put on live streams where he is either grinding or sanding or prepping handles for assembly. Go check out his content. Also want to talk about two channels that I'm hoping I can put a response video out to here soon. The first one is Jack over at Factors of Jack. Jack, I got my list of 5 slip joint knives I just need to share with you in the YouTube community, so we hope to get that short video posted up here in the next day or two. And finally, Cornbread. Dear old Cornbread over there at Hunting for Hookers. Well, I'll tell you what, he is dealing with a big knife community issue right now that is, plague is a strong word. Let's say that many of us are dealing with from the slip joint knife community right now, and that is the concerns of quality assurance or quality control slippage. And we'll leave it at that, but I'm hoping I can get a response video out to Cornbread and Hunting for Hookers here in the next few days. All right, well, that concludes my shout-outs for today. What I have on the table are 3 EDC knives that I'd like to talk about today for Fun Knife Friday because, as I have found, and maybe some of you have also found, quite frankly, it's much easier to ask forgiveness than permission sometimes. And while Mrs. Slices is away on a business travel trip, I thought it might be kind of fun to talk about Mrs. Slice's EDC. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to pause the video, clear the board of the stickers, and focus on the 3 knives on the table. And let's talk a little bit about them and why these are some of Mrs. Slice's favorite knives. Stay tuned. Okay, so these 3 knives you see on the table, along with a 4th, which we'll cover first actually, are the 4 knives that Mrs. Slices likes to carry as EDC knives on her or in her vehicle on a daily basis. And I think she's done a bang-up job of choosing the knives. I have to admit, maybe I might have been some assistance there, but she pretty much determined which of the collection she might want to have for her own, and has done a great job of adopting those as daily carries. So since she is away on travel, I thought, hey, this might be kind of fun since she had to leave most of them at home due to her airline travel. Why don't we take a look at them today? And let's talk about Spouse's knives and how and why they carry what they do. So the first knife I want to talk about is a Swags design. Now, of course, she is one of the knife designers over at Rosecraft Blades, and this is her design. It is called the Pocket Monster and is kind of a play on an old, I believe, CKRT or CJRB, forgive me, which one. I believe she had a knife designed with one of those companies, and I think this is kind of an adaptation of that design for Rosecraft, but this was one of her first designs for the new Rosecraft company. This is a modern flipper, and it's called the Pocket Monster, and it's aptly named Sully for the adorable Monsters, Inc. character, which was all blue with purple accents. So this is the Sully. Now this knife, I believe, it was the second of their model. Of course, this is made in China by Rosecraft's OEM. Pardon me. I believe this is in AR RPM9 steel or a comparable 9CR type material. It is a blade that's only 2 inches long, including the finger choil, but it's just a good medium overall pocket knife that you can choke up on and do some detailed EDC work if needed. She has basically a lanyard that she's clipped to the pocket clip so that she can more easily pull that out of her purse if she needs it. And she enjoys this knife very much. But it did stay home on her trip this time, and she took her other favorite EDC carry with her, though, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So this is, again, the Rosecraft Pocket Monster Sully Edition. All right, now the knife that's not on the table, the one she has at the job site right now, and that she keeps at the hotel, is the QSP Penguin. And I can't think of a better, more utility-oriented, perfect medium budget knife than the QSP Penguin. It is a knife that she likes to carry and use for daily tasks. It's also the one that she likes to travel with for, quite frankly, if it happens to get lost or stolen or, God forbid, commandeered by the TSA or others. It's one that can easily be replaced, but it is one heck of a budget functioning knife. And so she has that with her. I do want to thank one of the knife community channels for that knife because it was a giveaway win for me by CB Tactical. So Count Baldwin, CB, I want to thank you for that. I believe that was your 1,000th member giveaway knife, I believe. Might have been 500. I think it was 1,000. But it was a great knife for me. However, all of the knives on the table I find to be a little small for easily handling with extra large plus hand sizes. And so I showed this knife to my wife. I said, hey, is this something you would be interested on? And man, she snatched that up in a second. So the QSP Penguin has resided with her ever since then. One of her favorite EDC knives. But Count Baldwin, thank you very much. She has enjoyed that knife. All right, the next knife we're going to talk about is this knife in the middle one here. And this is actually one that was hand-picked, hand-selected, and purchased by Mrs. Slices herself. And this was just this past March when we went to Europe and she got the chance to go visit the Victorinox factory. And she picked out this SD Classic in a sea foam green A-lock scales with a lanyard. She attached a key ring on it so that she can easily connect it to the rings of her purse handles, so she always has quick access to it if needed. And of course, the SD Classic is just a perfect little keyring knife. Of course, it comes in 3 different blade styles. It comes with the main penknife. It comes with a nail file and small screwdriver. And then, of course, on the backside, the beloved Victorinox scissors, or X Factor, that are always handy if you have a hanging thread you need to take care of, or a cuticle that needs addressing. Whatever the situation, the SD Classic is always there to aid in solving the problem. And this is one of her favorite carries. Again, it usually rides on her purse handle every day. So the Victorinox A-Locks SD Classic. And finally, the knife that she has here, I can't think of a better use for, and a more fitting and proper use. Now, Fun Knife Friday is going to get a little somber here, but bear with me, folks. I think you'll understand why here in a minute. So this is the Hogue Deca, one of the budget versions of the knife. It comes in a blue and black Damascus handle. It has the crossbar lock, their version of the Axis lock by Hogue, which makes it very easy to flick open and close the knife, as well as lock it out for use. It has thumb stud controls for opening and deployment, jimping on the thumb ramp, and is just a good overall EDC knife and a perfect size for most medium to small size hands. And quite frankly, this is out of the 4 knives, this is the easiest for me to use and at least get a good 3.5 finger grip on. If I choke up, I can get all 4 on, barely, but a good 3.5 finger hold for the knife. This knife resides in Mrs. Slice's Jeep Cherokee, and she keeps this in the center console to use for emergency reasons. Whatever those may be, the Hogue Deca rides with her everywhere. So this has an ambidextrous formed stamped pocket clip, so you can go on either side. Has some really nice texture in the Damascus pattern, so you always have a grip on it. Okay, and of course this is, Damascus may not be the right name of this material, but it is their classic material that Hogue has been making gun grips with for years. And it's just a great overall material for handles. So again, this is the Hogue Deca. Now the story behind this, I'm going to be brief. This was a giveaway win due to an inheritance and a memorial raffle that was held by Metal Complex and Nick Shabazz for a young teenager or preteen year child named Mike Knotts. And I'll tell you what, it got me choked up, and it's definitely one of the reasons why I respect and like both Metal Complex's channel and content as well as Nick Shabazz. We don't hear from Nick as much anymore, but he still does occasional knife reviews and disassembly videos. But of course, Metal Complex is hot and heavy into the scene, and probably going to be one of the first 2 knife channels to reach 1 million subscribers. He's well on his way. But I'll tell you what, it even got Metal Complex choked up conducting this memorial auction or raffle. Basically, you agreed to make a contribution to the forgive me here, the Immune Deficiency Foundation, the IDF. And if you were willing to make a contribution on behalf of Mike Knotts, you were entered into a giveaway where his parents basically agreed to give away his collection to Metal Complex and Nick Shabazz subscribers because he was one of their biggest fans and wanted all of us to have a chance of owning his knives. I can't think of a better way to memorialize a young knife enthusiast's life than what Nick and Metal Complex agreed to do. So this, I was the first alternate in the entire giveaway raffle. One of the knives was not claimed, and I was the first alternate, and so I was lucky enough to win and accept this knife on behalf of Mike Knott's family, and I couldn't be greater, couldn't be happier, and I am glad that my wife carries this as an emergency knife each and every day. Well, that concludes Fun Knife Friday. I hope you enjoyed it. These are Mrs. Slice's EDC carries. Thanks for going over with these knives with me today. Little choked up already. Everyone, take care.